Okay, here we go again with another one of my awkward live Facebook videos. After the one that I made earlier, my phone has pretty much blown up, Messenger, everything. And there's questions and there was people, how can I help? I don't have all the answers. I read a lot and pay attention and know a little bit about some of this stuff. So one of the things that was asked me was about masks. Some people in the community are quilters. They they generally just sew, and they were asking, can we make masks? People are reaching out for this. Then that's something that other people are doing. So, but instead of, if you decide that you want to do that, great. I'm sure that there is YouTube videos, there is some kind of instructions out there on how to make these masks, and then send them. Some of them is asking to be sent out to other states and stuff. If you're going to do this, take it to one of our local hospitals, one of our local clinics, one of our nursing homes, something like that. I think that would be great, especially, if you're making fabric ones, that's fine. That's better than them not having anything, and they can wash them. Another thing, buying up the masks and gloves, just don't. These hospitals and places, they need these things. If you own a nail salon, hair salon, tattoo shop, whatever it is, and you use masks and gloves there, I'm sure that the hospitals or the clinics or anything out there, any of our healthcare workers would love to have these. You're closed anyway. You're not going to need them. You can get some later. Take them, donate them. One of the things about this is that the governor has been, pushing is the social distancing, a little bit more about that. The reason they're saying to stay 6 feet apart is, imagine when we were kids and everybody told us that boys have cooties or girls have cooties. Just think that everybody has cooties right now. Every single person out there has cooties right now. You don't want in 6 feet of these people to get their cooties, because if you get their cooties, you're going to take them home. It's like, if it's easier for you to wrap your head around this, then imagine that this is a pandemic of body lice or something like that. So, so if that'll keep you away from people, then great. Body lice, pandemic, I don't care. But anyway, this is a virus. This is a virus that you can contract apparently through the air or surface contact from somebody's saliva, from their snot, from who knows what, because it's so new that they really don't know. It can live on surfaces. It can live in the air. It can live on your hands. It lives on gas pump handles. It lives on the bottom of your shoes. You can pick this up on the bottom of your shoes and bring it home. Take your shoes off outside your door. Leave them on your porch. Leave them in your car. It don't matter. Whatever. Just don't take it in your house. When you contract this virus, you get it on your hands, you touch your face, you touch your eyes, you pick your nose, pick your kid's nose. You can have the ability to transmit this to other people. You can have it and not know it. You can be completely asymptomatic and not know that you have it, and then take it home and give it to your grandma. 2 weeks later, grandma's sick, she's in the hospital, she's on a ventilator, or she's waiting on a ventilator that's not there. Don't add to a problem that is coming. This is not the flu. This is the virus that's coming for our parents and our grandparents. It is a suffocating pneumonia. Stay away from people. Keep your social distancing. Wash your hands. Keep your fingers out of your mouth. Do not shake hands with people. No hugging. no anything. Leave room for Jesus here. Now, the way that this works as this pneumonia, most pneumonias we think of as that wet, snotty, coughing, croupy thing. This doesn't necessarily act like this. This is way outside of what we've seen. How this thing acts is just crazy. So this virus, it's getting in your lungs. It gets down to the little sacs at the bottom of your lungs where the air exchange actually happens. This is a gas exchange. Oxygen has to move through these little sacs, gets into your bloodstream. The bloodstream throws out the CO2, the carbon dioxide into your lungs so you can exhale it. When you've got those little sacs down in your lungs that are so inflamed because this virus hates them, they get so inflamed and so gooped off down there that the oxygen can't even get into the sac to get to your bloodstream, you're going to suffocate. You are suffocating. You're breathing heavy. I can't catch my breath. What's wrong? I'm short of breath. You go into the hospital. I'm so short of breath. Well, it's because your lungs can't do their job because this virus is in them, keeping you from getting oxygen to your blood, and everything in your body is screaming. So you're there, you can't catch your breath, you need a ventilator. I have seen some people say, well, can't they put those masks on your face and squeeze those bumps? No, when you get stiff lungs, that don't work. This makes your lungs stiff. This throws you into ARDS. It's an acute respiratory distress syndrome that people get, and they get these stiff lungs. And when your lungs get stiff, they don't want to inhale, exhale. They don't want to take oxygen. They don't want to take air. They don't want to expand. They don't want to do anything. So there you are. When you get in that kind of shape, all the medical people can do is whatever they can to maintain you and keep you alive until you start getting better. Now, something that puts a little bit of perspective in this, and I'm going to have to try, I've got this on my phone. I'm going to hold it up and see if you can see it through the little thing here. Okay, this is awkward. All right, this is a picture that I took off my computer, and this is that map that I was talking about from the Johns Hopkins coronavirus map. This shows, let's see, which side is China here? Okay. All right, you've got China, and you've got Europe, and you got the US over here. Okay, this thing started in China, over here. I'm really bad at this. Okay, over here. Okay, it moved its way to Europe in the middle, and then it's made its way over to the US. Okay, so here's Europe. Europe didn't know what hit them. When all this stuff started coming into Europe, it's when China was just then letting out what kind of mess they had going on over there. By then, it had already got into Europe, and it was wreaking its havoc. Look, you can't. Europe is covered. It is. They are eat slap up with it over there. Now, over here in the U.S., yeah, we don't look that bad. It just got here, people. It just got here. So, social distancing, wash your hands. We knew it was coming. The governor's been saying it. President Trump's been saying it. Wash your hands, social distancing, all this kind of stuff. We got this bad thing coming. Well, it's here. We had that case that was confirmed in Hazard. It was actually a Breathitt County patient. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to be here. It's here. It's probably been here for a while. It's just nobody's really got sick with it yet because it's not spread too far. So if you don't want to get it, stay home. Just stay home. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. If you do have to get out, just stay 6 foot away from people. Wash your hands. Don't put your fingers in your mouth. Don't pick your nose. All that kind of good stuff. If you are having mild symptoms, that what it could be, you need to self-quarantine. You probably want to stay away from your family, even if you've been all up in their faces with these symptoms. Then, keep everybody home. Self-quarantine everybody. See how you're going to do. If you're sick and you're not bad enough to have to go to the hospital, then don't go. Sit home, see how you do. If you've got like this horrible sinus infection or whatever, and it's not something you would normally go to the hospital for, then don't go. Then don't go now. Don't get freaked out by this. Young, healthy people, for the most part, aren't getting terribly sick with it. Our older, immunocompromised generation, they are getting sick with it. At least in other countries, they are. And if they're lucky enough to get a ventilator, some of them live and some of them don't. Italy has had a tremendous amount of people die over there. It's been crazy. Take your shoes off at the door, leave them on your porch. It is a total shame that the governor has had to call out Eastern Kentucky twice now. You've got the bingo hall that we all freaked out over, and then, of course, the flea market was open today. Don't be dumb. Just don't. Or we're going to get called down again. He's going to lay a smack down on us. Providers don't prescribe these meds for prophylaxis. So that means people out there, don't go into your doctor requesting them to write you these medications that they're curing these people with. I need a Z-Pack and I need some Plaquenil. No, if you ain't sick, you don't need it. Call your doctor's office. Call the hospital first. If you think you have symptoms, call them and see how they want you to handle it. Don't just go bombarding yourself into the ER or into an office somewhere with symptoms that you may have coronavirus, and then you have exposed everybody sitting in that waiting room or everybody in that office. Most of these offices have got away from just letting everybody come in, no routine visits, that kind of thing. Call your doctor's office before you go just to see how they want you to do things, and then do it however they say. I saw just right before I got on here, I was flipping through Facebook, and Dr. Frozenday had actually put an article on his Facebook about one of the ENTs at UK. They have picked up on a thing to where one of the symptoms is just a loss of sense of smell with no other symptoms. No other symptoms. That means you're walking around, you're good, and then all of a sudden you can't smell anything anymore. That could possibly be a symptom of this. It's one of these symptoms that they're looking at maybe adding to the list. I don't know that it's there yet. I don't know enough about that yet. That's kind of a new thing. Nobody knows enough about this just yet to be definitive of anything. But treat it like it's a cootie. You don't want it. You don't want to take it home. If you touch them, you catch it. If you get within 6 feet of them, you can catch it. If they're coughing on you, if anything like that, don't let it happen. Wash your hands, because they can put their cooties on other things. You get it on your hands, then you got it on you. You can be infected. You can be exposed. You can take it home. I did see where Thursa had called them out on the whole flea market thing this morning, and there was, she did say in her article that if you were there this morning and you have symptoms coming up, later, then everybody that you were exposed to there at the flea market will need to be notified. What, how are we going to know who I was there? Especially since the governor's called them out. There ain't nobody going to admit that they were at the flea market. But this, stay home, report your symptoms, call your doctor. Don't freak out. Don't be out panic buying, because they're not going to lock everybody in their homes and not let them out. You'll still be able to go to the store. You're just buying up stuff that your neighbor can't go to the store and get when they need it, because you've got 47 rolls of toilet paper over here. We got some of these older people that can't get out to the store as often as they'd like to. They're on fixed incomes. They can only go certain times of the month. And so just quit with all that. That's just unnecessary. It is just totally unnecessary. if you're stuck at the house and you're quarantined and you can't get to the store or whatever, call me. I'll go get daggone toilet paper and your eggs for you. Help your neighbors. Don't let your elderly people go out if you can get them to not go. I know how some of them are, they got to do for themselves, but even my friend Lisa's got her daddy Floyd, he's staying home and he's Mr. Go-Go. But my mom and dad's home, my sister's home. They're all immunocompromised due to either age or a history of recent cancers. So I go for them. I've checked with people on my haulers this morning who needs what. I'll run to the store for you, and I did go for some of them. I've got a pretty good immunity, and I've been in healthcare for 25-ish years. So I've been exposed to a lot, but there's none of us been exposed to this, so I don't know how I want to fare with it either. But if I go and if I'm there on the front lines, or if I'm doing whatever, seeing patients and I don't have a mask because a bunch of dummies have went out and bought them all up and they don't use them right, you're going out, you're wearing gloves, and you're going to the store and you're touching everything, getting everything, putting it in your cart, you're pushing your buggy. Those gloves haven't done you any good. None whatsoever. Don't worry about the gloves. Wash your hands. You go to the store, because if you've got gloves on, you're touching everything, you're contaminating everything. You just grab that carton of eggs, every germ that's on that carton of eggs is on that glove now. You're grabbing your gallon of milk, it's on that milk now. Grabbing whatever. So that's not how gloves work. You might as well just go barehanded and wash your hands. It works just as good. Don't waste the gloves that the healthcare people need. Take your gloves, take it to the hospital, drop them off, say, here you go. Masks, the same way. You're not going to need a mask if you ain't all up in somebody's face and they're spitting on you. Just, if you're worried about it all, don't even go out. Just stay at the house, watch TV, watch Netflix. Pray to Jesus, whatever you want to do. I suggest the whole praying to Jesus thing anyway right now. If you don't pray to Jesus, the rest of us that does will pray for you. So, I missed the governor's speech today. I just caught the tail end of it. I caught enough of it to see that little Miss Virginia wasn't there signing for him. I don't know who this new lady was, so now I'm worried about her. And I've still not seen Kenneth. But just everybody be safe. Just take care of one another. Pray for each other. Keep your hands out of your face. Social distancing and washing your hands and staying home. Those are the key things right now. This is coming. I know that there's some people out there that thinks that this is a hoax or some kind of lie that somebody's told. This isn't really happening, but it is. They canceled the NCAA basketball tournament, people, for this. I'm pretty sure you need to take this seriously. SEC's gone. Basketball's gone. Everything's gone right now because of this. They're shutting down the whole entire state. So I suggest that everybody starts taking this serious. Quit panicking. Get your head screwed on straight. Stay out of the flea market. And let's help each other get through this from at least 6 feet away. So everybody be safe. And let's pray for our nation, our country, our president, our governor, our families, our neighbors. Pray for our healthcare workers. They're getting ready for this, and we need to stay focused. And don't be mean to the healthcare workers. I saw somebody talking about that today on something, that they're seeing people out and mad at the healthcare, the nurses or whoever, at Walmart because they were there. Well, don't be mean to any healthcare workers because there's the ones that has to fight this battle for you this time. So let's just pray, everybody, and we'll all get through this, and then we'll have big pool parties and barbecues this summer. It's raining anyway. So I hope I cleared up a few questions. They were coming at me pretty quick today, so, and I may not be completely right on everything, but I'm pretty close with all this. So if y'all have got any more questions, keep them coming. I'll try to answer them, or we'll do this again, or whatever. But get used to different, because this is different from anything that we've ever been a part of. So, but we'll get through it. Okay. God bless. Peace out.